What is going on, everybody? My name is Japes. Welcome back, episode number 3 of our Path to Power. And today we're dabbling with the squad builder challenges to get things started. I know we talked about a double upload yesterday, but we are not gonna go that direction today. I wanted to save those for the weekend. You guys do know that I like to do some more special things on the weekend. So that is what we are going to aim to do. I also want to briefly apologize if you can hear the slight sound of a squeaker toy in the background. My puppy is being very busy right now. So we're going through just some of the simple bronze ones, trying to see what the rewards are like. And honestly, the squad builder challenges are super addicting. So if you are... on my main account, I play a ton of the draft. That is by far what I enjoy doing. Well, I don't know if by far what I enjoy doing the most, but is one of the things that I enjoy doing the most. And then you take all the packs, and now I just add them all to the club. And I've been able to complete a ton of the challenges just by doing that. I had a follower on Twitter ask, and he said, "Hey, Japes, would you be able to do a squad builder challenge series?" And I was like, that's kind of an interesting idea. I could put that together if you guys would have some interest on that, because I know some of the squads can be a little bit challenging. I know some of them have taken me a long time. And also, with that said, thank goodness for the companion app. If you have not downloaded the companion app for your iPad or smartphone or whatever it may be, by all means, go ahead and do that, because you can still, even if you burn through your 10 hours of early access, which I have, you can still do the squad building challenges. And honestly, I'm finding even when I have to go out and buy a few players to complete the challenge, because I'm getting another full pack back, or discarding or selling duplicates or whatever it may be, or the coin rewards at the end of it, I'm staying pretty much even. So it just kind of keeps the good times going. I asked you guys to send me an ode to the EA servers yesterday, and I want to say thank you to all of you guys that did send me some stuff, because a lot of them were just really entertaining to read. So I'm gonna go ahead and we'll start with the first one that I got. From Douglas S. I don't want to go ahead and say your last name, just in case you don't want that sent out there. He said, "Electronic Arts, it's not in the game. Horrible servers, who's to blame? People will complain, but no one will act. Thank you, EA. Your game is..." Can't say that word. Your game is slit. Something that rhymes with that. Okay, we'll start it over. So you know where we're going to insert that. So Electronic Arts, it's not in the game. Horrible servers, who's there to blame? People will complain, but no one will act. Thank you, EA. Your game is slit. But never forget, we will still play. And I actually thought that, or saw that, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to read this. I really don't like swearing if possible. But this year's game, I actually think, is really good. And I chose that one because it allows me to talk about FIFA 17 as a whole and my experience with that. And it's true, we all totally still will play. And actually, I want to say that these feel like dedicated servers this year. Now, hear me out on this. I don't know if EA has come out and said anything on this. I haven't read anything. But I haven't had a 2-bar or 1-bar connection yet. It's all been green bars. Now, I did DC. I have DC'd twice. One time on this account, you guys saw, and I think all the servers crashed with early access or something along those lines. The second time, it failed to report the match. So I finished the game on my main account in the draft and won the game, and it just didn't report and kicked me off the servers for that. So I ended up getting a loss there. Pretty much a huge bummer. But as a whole, I think FIFA 17 is really good, especially for the style that I like to play, which revolves around replicating my favorite teams and players that I would see play over the weekend. So as some of you guys will know, some of you guys won't, I'm a Bayern Munich fan, so a lot of times I try to replicate what Bayern's doing, but I've become a huge Pep Guardiola fan. in recent years. Obviously, because of his time at Bayern, I just learned like so much more about his philosophies and styles, and you'll see a lot of that in the way that I play. You obviously see that false nine formation from me quite often. That was made popular during Pep's time at Barca. Or at least that's to me when it was kind of like made popular. So we went back into Foot Champions because I wanted to see if there were any new prizes. And the prize is still like 1,000 coins and a silver players pack, which is actually pretty good if you're trying to build out squad builder challenges. But I thought we'll head into divisions now. We already have entry to the weekend league, and it says the weekend league starts in like 14 days, which is a huge bummer. Well, it's not a terrible bummer because let's go back. It's a huge bummer because that's a long time away, right? Like that is what I'm bummed about, is that it's so far away. But it's not, because it gives everybody an equal chance to build a decent enough team to hopefully feel confident enough going into the weekend league that they can win some games and they don't feel like they're at a huge disadvantage if they didn't get the game as early as someone else. So we're taking our French League 1 squad into seasons. I will keep checking back on Foot Champions to see if anything is updated as far as the prizes. And speaking of the 2-bar, you saw it right there, but it went up to 3 just as we were loading in. So I've seen it start red, go up to 3, have no real lag issues. So I'm, fingers crossed, super, super hopeful. This guy's rolling with the lone Michael Owen up front, lone Dele Alli, lone oh my gosh, Bellerin. I almost said Monreal. At least I got the team right and the nation right, but it is Hector Bellerin and not Nacho Monreal. In a pretty decent looking 4-4-2 side. 4-4-2 players have given me trouble in the past if they know what's up. But for the most part, I've said it like a million times. Well, not so much this year, but in past years, I feel like a broken record. The 4-4-2 I just don't think is that strong, but sort of a variation of the 4-4-2, the 4-2-2. I used it in a draft earlier for the 10 hours on my main account, and I actually really enjoyed it. I was using Oscar and Isco as my 2 attacking mids, and even with their, kind of what many would think of on Ultimate Team as a glaring lack of pace, I still felt pretty decent about it. So that's kind of I don't know, that's kind of a different thing that I'm gonna have to look at and experiment with a little bit more. Another player that I started experimenting with, and obviously Ben Arfa, just an absolute monster. He originally went in because Seri, the CM, went down, and having a lone Ben Arfa, I could have tossed in Matuidi, but I decided to move Belhanda back and bring Ben Arfa into the squad as a loan. Really, really nice. And the lone players, if I were you, I would suggest potentially building your starters team around certain lone players that you can get for quite a few games. Like Ben Arfa, Matuidi, you can get them for 6 or so games and win some games in there. Or you can make like a hybrid off of some of the lone players and get some nice pieces to kind of go around them, because that gives you a lot of opportunity to spend your coins trading, or spend your time trading and use your coins to trade. So I think that's a good idea. Not something that I'm very good at, because I want to go out and buy players. Also, speaking of trading players and buying and selling and that sort of thing, something that I just hadn't really taken into consideration is how, like, everybody's selling, and for like a little bit more now that people are noticing what the squad builder challenges are, because you can get some packs and people get excited about that. And even if you're shelling out like a couple thousand coins and you get like an all players pack, people are like, yeah, that's worth it. I pay, 3,000 coins, 2,000 coins or whatever for an all players pack. So I've seen like towards the, Jimmy D. I was looking at him on my main account, Jimmy Dermaz. He's on my left wing. Swedish left wing from the French League 1. And a lot of the hybrid squad builders, whether you have to use different nations, different leagues, he is a very, very unique player. And there are some where you have to use a player from, the team's got to be like 100 chemistry, and it has to be a different player from each nation. So you take leagues like the French League 1, who have some interesting nationalities bouncing around there. Obviously, the BPL, Bundesliga, any of the big leagues, I think you could get away with doing it. But the League One, there are a lot of cheap-ish players that you would be able to do this with. I saw him sell for like a buy now 900 coins. We paid 350. So right now, I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I might want to sell this League One side because, to be completely honest, I much prefer playing with this Silver Pro League side. I really, really do enjoy it. And I'm not sure if that is due to the formation. So that's something that we're going to have to play around with, because if it's just a formation thing, then I can make some tweaks to the League One side, and I will be good to go. This guy, he's got lone gigs in there. He's got some other pretty solid looking, Menez is a nice little striker. But he's definitely missing a little bit of chemistry there, only down at 80. And we're getting things started here in the 8th minute. Managed to finally take that one away. Stanshu, great player. Also, I appreciate the guy that gave me some feedback on the Pro League name, said I was doing a good job. So that's always nice to hear. Leon Bailey making moves forward. Using that no-touch dribbling, it still will give you a change of pace this year. You just have to be careful about how long you hold it down. Eventually falls to Moses Simon there, who tucks it away. In what turns out to be a goal that makes me happy-ish, per se. So I don't really like scoring goals like that. They're not my favorite, but getting a 1-goal lead in any game, in terms of, I'll actually go way back here. If you want to learn how to do skill moves, and this is advice that I've been giving for years. So if you want to learn, I used to get asked all the time, Japes, what is the best way to learn how to do skill moves? And I would always say, I think Ultimate Team is a great, you can used to be able to use them and learn them in the arena, learn the combos, and I thought that was pretty decent just to get a feel for it. But then adding timing in is something totally different. And I think that Ultimate Team is a great place to learn how to do that. Now, my advice that I would give would be to get 2 goals up and then go ham. Because what going 2 goals up does is it forces your opponent to panic. If they go 1 goal down, a lot of people keep their composure pretty well, and they'll hold it together and stay in decent shape. They get 2 goals behind and they start freaking out a little bit. They're going to start diving into tackles because they feel like they have to win it back. So if you're trying to do skill montages, get nice goals, get 2 goals up, and then go ahead and let the skill moves fly. That's the best advice that I can give you in that situation. That's when I do hybridism episodes of the past or things of that nature, you would absolutely see, if you looked at my score lines, I'd be winning 3-1 when I get a clip, or 4-0 or 3-0, something like that. And it's because I would sweat it out so hard and do whatever I had to do to get those first few goals. And then people start diving into tackles. And when they're diving into tackles, it's just a lot easier to execute skill moves. So take that into consideration if it's something that you're trying to learn, trying to add to your game. Indeedy, I was like, oh, I'm free. I guess I might as well keep going, keep steaming forward. The big Nigerian makes that one 4-0 just before the half. And now I know that is the LeBron James celebration that Christian Benteke has done a few times. So I definitely check the comments. I appreciate each and every one of you that leaves a comment or leaves some feedback on what you liked about the episode. Sometimes it's what you didn't like, or any words of encouragement as well. I always appreciate it, and I do try to check the comments 95% of the time. I'd say I get through reading almost every comment that was left in the first, maybe 24 hours that the video's been live, or even almost until the next episode's gone live, because then I'm focused on the next one, and it's hard to kind of keep going back to that. So something to take into consideration if you just want to say what's up. Chances are I might also reply and say what's up. So 4-1, 71st minute, not that great, but we're going to work things forward here. Stanshu, Jolly not making as big of an appearance this time around, but boy, did he have his efforts felt in the last one. Leon Bailey sends in a dangerous cross, and that is actually an own goal, though it seems to have given... Did it give it to Bailey? We'll see in the next screen, but that is clearly an own goal. And that's a little bit disappointing if it's counted as a goal for Bailey. Oh, we didn't get to see it. No, I'll have to go. I don't know if I can go back. I'd have to go and count how many goals Bailey scored, but a little bit more sloppy defending for me right there in the 86th minute. Let Jeremy Menez free. Taraval is actually not my favorite defender in the world. The French CB from the Belgian Pro League. I still am on the lookout for a DeWitt at a decent price. I would like to add him to this squad, and this is kind of a squad I feel like just keeping around is like a fitness squad because it's kind of a lot of fun to play with right now. Now, I'm sure I'll change it out for another silver team or another. I think having a silver team or a bronze team as your fitness card just to kind of shake things up and hone your skills is a really, really good idea or good option. And I say that it's a good option because if a tournament pops up that you need a silver team for, a bronze team for, I think it's nice to have one of those teams, probably each as a basis to allow that. But I also just think it's fun and it keeps you honest, I guess is a better way of doing it. I've gotten into the habit probably more just like the past two FIFAs, definitely not before that, because you guys used to see me do tons of underdogging and stuff like that, but the habit in the past two FIFAs of just using like super OP teams, because that's what I thought people really wanted to see on YouTube. So I felt like I had to spend tons of money and like try to get the absolute top rated players and, then play games that way. And like towards the end of last year, don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved using my expensive team. Like it was super fun, but that was largely just because team of the season Ben Arfa was just a maniac, and this Belhanda getting free this time. Nice finesse shot into the back of the net, 27th minute there. But I think having a silver team that you play with kind of semi-consistently at least keeps you honest, because then when you go back to your gold team, you're not relying on super high rated players to do like absolutely crazy world-class things all the time, right? It keeps your focus on simple build-up and like getting your players in a good position to finish off like high quality chances, right? Because I see a lot of people that will get like Messi and they just start shooting from everywhere, and like, yeah, some of it go, or Ronaldo would be a better example, or any of your high-rated players, and they just start trying to do crazy things all the time, and yeah, some of them go in, and then they get a hold of like a silver team or a bronze team, or they don't have Messi or Ronaldo anymore because it's a certain tournament that wouldn't allow them in there, and like the frustration levels just grow so high. So that spin was so nice from Ben Arfa, and that's that keep it low like little tap finish right there. I saw a comment that said, Japes, what are you finding is the best way to finish at this point? And I'm leaning towards finesse shot. One or the other has felt unreliable to me at different times, so I'm not quite sure what I think. Realistically, I feel like I need to play a lot of pro clubs, and then I'll be able to figure it out, because pro clubs is always my standard. I'm gonna try everything and figure out what works and doesn't work. It doesn't reflect on your record or anything. So if you have a few buddies that are pretty decent players as well, and you want to just get on pro clubs and have a merry old time and work on honing your skills, you can switch off playing any. But I think playing any is great as well, because you learn to defend 3 humans running at you, 4 humans, 5 human controlled player virtual pros that are like in the mid to high 80s at least. I'd imagine they'll be this year, running at you and learning how to defend that. You get really good at training your eyes to watch different parts of the pitch. And I think it's something that's helped me a lot in the past. And then plus, when you get the chances, like if you mess up the chance, who cares? It's you're trying something new and you're trying to figure out what's consistent and what works. We do get a rage quit in this one, which is nice. That makes me very, very happy to get our first one of those in there. Ben Arfa with a 9.6, and switching to the false 9 with this squad, or with my League One side, so worth it. So the next squad that we build, undoubtedly, I would say will be a false 9 as well. I'd like to say that I'm going to try to switch up formations and stuff and tell you guys all about them. But I know myself, and I know like how much I adore this formation with like the triangles and the way it plays. I'm going to have a hard time switching it up. You saw right there really fast. He switched his jersey on the screen, but the player like what the jersey the player was wearing or the kit the player was wearing didn't switch. It's whatever kit the player's wearing that you'll go into the game with. So be very, very careful because some people will just like leave it and are like, what are you doing? And they'll be mismatched. And like the kits, you can see them on the players just don't match up. So be careful with that. It's something that I think EA should fix and make a little bit more responsive. But I don't think we'll necessarily have a timeline for that. So we'll just keep going with this way and be careful not to get stuck in like a white kit on white kit or anything like that. He tries to rush it out, fails his clearance right here. Ben Arfa, Dermaz, Jimmy D, nice scoop turn, finds Belhanda, back to Jimmy D, and it's clinical from the Swede right into the bottom corner, 38th minute. Lovely little goal, and we're doing LeBron things again. And I think it's just because it's a new celebration. I tried to look up how to do Griezmann's hotline bling celebration because it is supposedly in the game, but rumor has it you can only do it with Griezmann by hitting his like running celebration with the A button, which is just such a bummer. And this is probably the best goal that I've scored at this point because you got Makides, you got rainbows, and you've got composure to finish that one off. Nice solo run from Ben Arfa, and we're going to let him dab it out, do Ben Arfa things, because he is that good again. I won't say he's my favorite player yet, but of the players that I've used, I've felt most dominant with him, and that's totally something to do with having 5-star skills at my disposal, because I just feel like the ball control and the scoop turns and the Rabona fake stops. There's a lot of things that are really, really good. This guy takes a nice short free kick right there, falls eventually to Felipe Melo in the box, and that's a nice first-time turn. But unfortunately, he tries to shoot a cross body, and this, like, that dead fish right there, or what do they call it, like a brick drop? It absolutely enraged me. Like, that celebration every time for me, it just like, what is the term people, it's like triggered, right? I see that and my eyes just go red and I get so angry because it just is like, it probably goes back to pro clubs too, like, or not even, every like, I feel like every semi-douchey Ultimate Team player, like that was their go-to move. And you see it for me right there because it's like, this is the only time you'll see it come out for me is when I get angry and when somebody's done it to me and I'm like, dude, you're going to dead fish. I'm going to dead fish on you the next time that I score. So I did it right there. So I guess, does that make me a semi-douchey player? I didn't do it first. I need to rise above that, I suppose, and not buy into that one. But that is where that match is going to come to a close. So good work from the boys. Ben Arfa put in work. Second game in a row, we didn't go to the Pro League side because this one was for the Division title, which is great. That means we'll be moving on to Division 9 in the next episode. If you guys did enjoy this, the like or thumbs up is greatly appreciated. I want to say thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. Your support, your comments, all of it, absolutely amazing and absolutely awesome. Keep it up. And I will keep on doing the same. Thank you for watching. My name is Japes, and I will catch you all next time.